Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Nope. There we go. I don't know what happened. Good morning, and welcome to Good Morning Crypto, where we turn your early morning into your edge and financial freedom. Today, I've got a few headlines. One of them is going to be about a trade deal with Vietnam, and we'll dive into that other headline here in just a second after we get you prepped for some success today. You know, I got that this morning though, down 0.28%. We've got Nvidia sitting up 2.58% and looking to the up 0.25. We've got Eli Lilly sitting to the upside 0.44. Looking to the downside this morning though, down 0.1. We've got ExxonMobil climbing to the upside yesterday, 1.66%. Looking to the downside this morning though, down 0.21. We've got Tesla extremely in the green. Off of all that calm down between the strife between Elon Musk and Trump, looking at 4.97% towards the upside. Continuing with that buying pressure this morning, up 1.05. We've got P&G looking quite neutral this morning, down 0.01 from its close, up 0.01 this morning. We've got Microsoft down 0.2%, looking like no change on the board this morning and the pre-market. We've got Google sitting up 1.61%, looking to the downside this morning. Quite neutral though, down 0.11. And to wrap that on out, we've got Meta sitting down 0.79%, looking towards the upside this morning though, 0.37. Let's hop over to the crypto side of things because we are extremely green over there. Bitcoin making some big moves. I saw it tapping up against that $110,000 before I went live. We got Bitcoin up 2.1%, Ethereum up 6%. We've got XRP up 4.6%, BNB up 0.7%. We've got Solana up 4.5%. Tron sitting up 0.7, Doge sitting up 8.1. We've got Cardano up 8.5%, still yet to get up to that upside target I had talked about yesterday. We'll definitely take a look at that chart. We've got Hyperliquid up 5.8%. We've got SWI making big moves, taking that number 12 spot from Bitcoin Cash in that market cap and up 11.1%. We've got Bitcoin Cash up 0.2%, Chainlink up 5.9%. We've got Leo token up 1%, Avalanche up 7.7%. We've got Stellar Lumens up 5.6%, Toncoin sitting up 3.4%. Shiba Inu up 6.3, and Litecoin up massively as well, 9.2%. Let's hop over to those fear and greeds because we're ticking back towards that extreme greed. For the stock market, we are up 11 points at 74, almost at that extreme greed point. Looking for a little bit of some cool down on that unless we continue to get some positive news. Remember, the stock market is closed tomorrow. For the crypto side of things, no different there, up 10 points, 73, still in light greed, but very, very close to that extreme greed. Let's hop over to that liquidation heat map because we still got some liquidity to the top side. Looking at that $110,000 mark, that's an area we had talked about yesterday for some liquidity. Looking like we might go grab that today. Let's hop over to that 3-day. 3-day looking quite similar with that liquidity residing right there at 110, almost 500. Scroll on out a little bit further, take a look at that 1 week, and we've got that liquidity, quite light liquidity, up at that same spot, 110, almost 500. Let's hop on over to that economic calendar, take a look at what we're looking at for today. Don't have a lot of heavy data coming out, but we do have some data today. That'll be average hourly earnings month over month and year over year, looking like a slowdown on those earnings month over month and holding quite steady on average hourly earnings year over year. We do have balance of trade as well, looking like more of a deficit heading our way. We've got imports and exports for the United States. This will all be at 8:30 Eastern Time. We do have non-farm payrolls, which will be the big one for today. Looking like a slowdown on that as well, and the unemployment rate. So keeping our eyes out for that 8:30 data drop. Might see a little bit of some volatility if we do see that unemployment rate going towards the upside. That does bode well for a rate cut. Scrolling on down, we have ISM Services PMI as well. Nothing too crazy on that one. Forecast is 50.5, was 49.9 last time, so might see a little bit of an increase on that one. We also have a Fed chair speaking at 11, and other than that, nothing too crazy. We do get at 7:30 Eastern Time, household earnings month over month and year over year for Japan. That'll be that big market mover for that Asia trading time zone. Other than that, we don't have any heavy data coming out of the US the rest of the week because markets are closed. We do have that holiday. Let's hop over to that Bitcoin chart. Say good morning to everyone. Let's see who we got in the chat. We had JREMR first in the chat, dropped first, second, and third. Good morning to you. We got Dylan VA in here as well. We've got Melissa. Good morning to you. It's been a while since I've seen you here. Waking up nice and early for that good morning crypto. We've got Jesse Gluck in here. He said good morning to everyone. We've got, let's scroll it on down, Mark Dutch in the chat. Good morning. He says good morning from Vietnam. I love that movie. We got Crypto Billy. Everyone was wondering where you were. Hey, we changed back to the regular time. Yeah, I had a little bit of time off last week, so I kind of pushed the show back since you can't move dirt when it's muddy. So they let me sleep in, and I pushed the show back because it's kind of nice to sleep in every once in a while. We got Darren Does Things in here saying good morning, fam. Good morning to you. We got Heath and Crypto Sticko. Good morning to both of you. Hope you're having a great day. We got Jay Violet in here as well. Good morning to you, or good evening. We've got Kyle Fields as well. Good morning to you. Let's hop into this Bitcoin chart because we are making that move back up towards that golden pocket fib extension. We did talk about the potential of some upside movements to grab that top side liquidity yesterday, and that's exactly where we're headed. We do have that $110,000 mark now that we got above 108,200. That was that area I was kind of watching for. We did get a little bit of some hesitation at that before we really blasted through extremely quickly. You've got your MACD and prime oscillator still heading towards the upside here, doing so quite sideways though. Money flow still in the red here on the daily, and volume still extremely low as well. So we will be watching for that short-term volume and short-term money flow to kind of bleed over into our high-term time frame. If it doesn't, might see some resistance back up at that $111,000 mark, which was that all-time high. Might see a sweep a little bit above that though. There has been some talks about $112,000 all over again. Let's scroll this on in to that 4 hour. We got that 4 hour breaking towards the upside on our MACD. We did talk about the potential for that yesterday. If we could get above some of those levels we were watching, as you can kind of see here, we had this resistance line that we had been watching for, got a nice little bouncing action off of that, and we're heading up. Oh, wrong button there. And we're heading up towards that golden pocket fib extension, looking for what price will do here at the morning. We do have a little bit of some resistance above that, as you're starting to see a selling wick on this 4 hour candle right now, but doesn't mean you can't continue towards the upside for a little longer. You do have your money flow still nice and green here on the 4 hour. Volume a little low, but we'd be waiting for that to bleed over into our higher term time frame, because that shorter term time frame does look quite nice. Let's zoom this on in, take a look at that 1 hour. We got that 1 hour making that move back towards the upside here on the MACD and the prime oscillator, getting that nice strong curvature back up, waiting to break our indicator line well above our zero line. As you can see here, we are very close to breaking it all over again as money flow starts to come back in and your volume is starting to come back in as well. Wait for that to start to bleed over into your higher term time frame. Got that prime oscillator getting that curvature back up as well, but seeing this golden pocket fib extension coming into play. We are residing above our VWAP, which is quite nice. Might see us pull back down to that for a little bit of a bounce off of it this morning. Let's scroll into that 15-minute time frame, take a look at what the morning might be bringing our way. Here's where you really see that resistance coming into play at 110,400 there, where we see that golden pocket fib extension. Zoom this on in quite heavily so you can see that a little bit better. 15-minute, getting a little bit of some rollover here, waiting on that money flow to really come back in. Money flow is remaining in the green for now. As that volume starts to pick back up, we're waiting to try to see that money flow get a little heavier here. It has slowed down quite a bit. We've got a few reversal signals that have flashed, and we're waiting to see if we can come back down, really test on this VWAP before we get that stronger push back up. We still have quite a bit of liquidity that is residing right above this. That was at 110,500. That's going to be right above that golden pocket fib extension. Do we have any alt requests for the morning? If so, go ahead, drop them in the chat. I already know we need to look at some ADA. We'll get that one on the list right now. Any other alt requests, go ahead, drop them in there. We got Eric Ballin Wallen in the chat. Good morning to you. Let's see. Anybody else? Not seeing anyone else there. We got 4 people over on X. Good morning to all of you. Hope you're having a great day. Yep, Jesse Gluck. I knew you were going to drop that ADA, so that's why I put that one on the list. We got Crypto Billy in here as well, so he'll definitely want a look at ADA as well. let's hop over to our news articles for the morning because we did have a few of them that we were taking a look at. We got Trump announces a third trade deal ahead of the 90 in 90 deadline. I see hype on the list. We can take a look at that one as well. Oh, let me get that E on the end. All right, let's scroll it on down. Get to the meat and the potatoes. We got Trump announces the news in a Truth Social post stating he personally negotiated the arrangement with To Lam, the General Secretary of the Communist Party of Vietnam. In return, Vietnam will do something that they have never done before, give the United States of America total access to their markets for trade, Trump wrote in a social media. In other words, they will open their market to the United States, meaning that we will be able to sell our products in Vietnam with zero tariff. In my opinion, the SUV, or it is sometimes referred to the large engine vehicle, which does so well in the United States, will be a wonderful addition to the various product lines within Vietnam. Dealing with General Secretary To Lam, which I did personally, was an absolute pleasure. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Scrolling on down, we get to the actual trade deal here. The new deal stipulates a 20% tariff on Vietnamese exports to the United States and a 40% levy on goods transshipped through Vietnam. Concurrently, Vietnam agreed to eliminate its own tariffs targeting U.S. goods, meaning American manufacturers and exporters can now sell to the Vietnamese market without existing trade barriers. The deal closely follows a separate trade agreement with China, where the U.S. maintained high tariffs while securing rare earth supplies and facilitating Chinese student entry. This is a big deal. I did talk about this deal needing to be in place because Vietnam is a nice place to see us have some manufacturing done. BC's Cookies always reveal his personal life. Yeah, I like internet. I don't like Spectrum though. But let's see what was that one? Computer stuff. Yep, I'm a computer nerd there. So we got a little bit on that one. And then of course our healthcare one up at the top because I track that healthcare sector quite heavily. Let's see. Oh, this Vietnam deal, which I had talked about for quite a while, needing to be in place, is quite bullish. We do get a lot of goods from Vietnam. Cars are a big one. Electronics are another big one. And being able to produce some of those goods over there will be a nice supplement to some of those Chinese goods that we manufacture. We got Chris Ford, Ranger AU, Aussie Gang in the house. Thanks to the amazing Jay Violet. Well, we appreciate you coming on in. Appreciate you participating in the chat as well. We got Heath saying BTC wall moved up about 350 BTC. Let's see. Anything else? I've never seen that device to measure your blood sugar. Yeah, that's they've got a lot of new devices on that. The big one is the one that goes on the back of your arm. I did buy a little bit into that company. It's doing quite flat, but still, I will continue to buy in as they make new ways to track your blood sugar. That's a big one here in America. We've got some higher rates of diabetes. We got Microsoft cuts deeper into its workforce with another major round of layoffs. I've been watching this one quite heavily. We did talk about as the economy gets to those risky points, the first thing that companies will do to increase profits is lay people off. This is not the first round of layoffs that they've done, and it's also not the first company that I've been seeing laying people off. We got Microsoft is culling more workers in its latest big round of layoffs so far this year. The company is laying off less than 4% of its workforce, or roughly 9,000 employees. Microsoft in May had cut 60,000 workers. Many of its tech peers have recently conducted layoffs. Microsoft is cutting more workers in another major round of layoffs at the company this year. The company said it's making cuts affecting less than 4% of its total workforce. That would be around 9,000 employees based on its headcount of 220,000 employees. Multiple employees confirmed to Business Insider that layoffs have begun. One affected employee said that they have until July 8th to sign a severance agreement, after which they receive 60 days of paid leave. We continue to implement organizational changes necessary to best position the company and teams for success in the dynamic market, a Microsoft spokesperson told BI in a statement. We'll continue to watch these. You had Amazon the other day talking about how AI might take a few jobs from people. You know, it is something we will have to watch because AI will kind of change the workforce just a little bit as it progresses and is able to do more things. But that doesn't mean that these jobs completely go away. It means that these jobs will change as the labor market changes around AI. Then you might see a little bit of some worry in the short term, but that doesn't mean that the labor market will just completely be demolished. It means that new jobs will need to be made, and AI and the people that run AI will need to step up, and those will be those new jobs. We see this over and over again as new innovations are made in your market. You see new jobs being created. So a little bit of a worry in the short term, but things will just change in the labor market. We got Curtis Hill in here. Good morning to you. Let's see who else we got in here. We got Trade Intuition in the chat. Good morning to you. If you've got those bingo bangos, drop them in the chat. I'm guessing he didn't get much sleep, staying up late and making those trades. If you're not following him, let me get that link dropped in the chat for you. We got Trade Intuition's channel drop for you. Go ahead and check him out. Give him a little bit of a follow. See if his content kind of goes with what you like there. Let's hop over to TradingView, get a few of these assets pulled up that you wanted me to take a look at, because we were seeing some movements, and I know ADA was that first one. We had Hype as well. Any other alt requests, go and drop them in the chat, because the chat's moving, so I did not see those alt requests. Yeah, Trade Intuition saying no sleep. We got Al Jr. in here as well. Good morning, beautiful people. Good morning to you, Al Jr. Jesse dropping those magnets in the chat. I knew it was coming there. Let's see. Anyone else? Not gonna lie, I was worried when baby stuff popped up last week, BC. Oh, Dutch, that was because my friend had a baby shower recently, so I bought some stuff for him. We bought him a nice little onesie for his baby that says, if your dad doesn't have a beard, you really have two moms. And then I bought a bunch of diapers. So yeah, that's not me. I will not be having kids. We got Nelro and Moondeg. I will choose one of those. And we're going to go with Moondeg because we've looked at that one before. Moondeg, getting it added on the list. All right. Any other alt requests, go ahead and drop them in the chat. And some magnets in the chat too. Since we got that magnet chat going on, I'm going to drop some in there as well. Let's get over to ADA. It was making some moves towards the upside that we had talked about yesterday. It has fallen a little bit short of that 62-cent target we were looking for, but it still has some room to run on that higher term time frame. Let's get that scrolled out to the 4-hour there. Get this moved over so you can see it a little bit better. We talked about wanting to see that platinum pocket bounce. We got that nice platinum pocket bounce, and then we just blasted through 57 cents quite strongly, and then we got that nice little retest of 58 cents that we had talked about yesterday, and then continued towards the upside. That 4-hour does have plenty of room to keep running here. We do have a little bit of a reversal signal that has flashed, but volume just starting to increase here on the 4-hour. So let's wait for that money flow to roll over from that short-term time frame into that higher term time frame to really see that push back up to 62 cents. I do think that might be a little bit of a resistance area to watch for the morning, and then we'll kind of have to see if we stabilize back down here at 60 cents and then try to make that continued push towards the upside. We do have that golden pocket way up here at 70 cents. That's going to be that next target to really watch for if we can get above 62 cents here. Let's scroll that on in, take a look at the hourly and what the day might be bringing our way here. In this day, looking quite similar to Bitcoin, where your volume's just starting to come back in. Your prime oscillator is cooling off just a bit here. We do have all of this consolidation here in this 60-cent range that we'd kind of watch for price to come back to kind of cool off some of these oscillators just a bit and then continue towards the upside, unless you see that 15-minute money flow going crazy. That is something to kind of watch for. We talk about money flow over and over, and that volume with it increasing could really push that price up quite drastically, as we're watching Bitcoin try to make that push towards all-time highs. We do have that 15-minute and the morning looking like you're seeing a little bit of some cool off here as well. Seeing some sideways momentum, holding up 60 cents quite nicely. Might see that drop a little bit lower to really retest the highs of this sideways range here, as we try to cool off both that MACD and prime oscillator. MACD broke that indicator line to the downside, but doing so with some sideways momentum. So kind of watch for this 15-minute volume as it's increasing to come with a little bit of some money flow this morning as we cool those oscillators off just a little bit more and then continue that push towards the upside. You might have a little bit of liquidity towards the bottom here at about 57 cents that we could sweep if that money flow really increases as some selling pressure before we get that move back towards the upside there. I wouldn't necessarily look that low, but that is a potential for a bottom side sweep this morning. 4th of July, boring trade days. Yeah, that's because all of the degens here in America are not on the charts. They're making things go boom. And that's what I'll be doing too. I will not be paying attention to those charts. I will be making things go boom. Speaking of 4th of July, we are having a 4th of July giveaway. Go ahead, take a look at that pinned message up at the top. If you comment Bitcoin is freedom on that video, you are entered for a chance to win 50 USDT. Liquidity, says Jesse. Yep. And that's kind of what moves those markets. We will see if we can grab some of that bottom side on ADA. See if we can grab a little bit of liquidity that was piled up directly underneath Bitcoin to kind of cool off those oscillators and then continue towards the upside. I think Diddy jokes are outdated by now. I mean, you did just see him beat his case yesterday, so I think you might see a little bit more of those jokes coming your way, Dutch. Let's see. We had Hype on the list. Let's take a look at Hype. making those nice strong moves back towards the upside, but seeing that resistance at the same spot. Let's scroll this on out to a higher time frame, because I don't think I've ever charted on hype. Nope, never charted on hype. So let's see what we're looking at for that daily. Might get a little bit of a better look there. Looking like we're seeing that resistance all over again at our highs. Looking quite nice for hype though. Holding that 382 quite nicely after, and then getting that move back up towards the 236 there. Waiting to kind of see where money flow sends us next, because that daily does look like it could continue quite nicely. Let's get a fib extension drawn out to see where we could go if we break through that top side. So we got our lows to our highs to our lows here. Looking like that golden pocket is our resistance area. Quite nice. Let's get that fib retracement hidden and take a look at this fib extension on that higher term, on that shorter term time frame. Let's get that 1 hour pulled up, see what the day might be bringing our way here. Respecting those fib levels quite nicely. Got that 382 bounce, heading back up towards that golden pocket on our fib extension to see what we do with some price action. You do have that 1 hour looking a little bit toppy here, sitting light red on our prime oscillator, but volume, just like everything else, starting to pick up here. So looking quite nice for a continuation if we can get that short-term time frame money flow to really bleed over into this 1 hour. If not, kind of look for that resistance at 41.3, 41.2-ish. To see some resistance before we come back down, really test about $40.25. That's where we see some of the sideways action here that'd cool off some of that some of this medium time frame oscillators to continue a push towards the upside. Take a look at the 15-minute and what the morning's bringing our way. Looking like you might see that retest there, and that's where we're looking a little bit down on both the MACD and our prime oscillator. MACD bumping up against that indicator line here. We got a reversal signal that has flashed, and prime oscillator heading back towards the downside. True 7 extremely low, and volume has slowed down quite a bit. So really waiting to see if we can hold up that 40.32 there. Let me get that horizontal ray drawn out for you. A short-term bounce area to kind of watch for on that top side. 43.66, and a little bit of a zone on the bottom side where we see all of these very equal lows coming in at about 39.65. Those are those two kind of areas to watch for on a little bit of a pullback before we make that move back up towards that golden pocket, unless we see this money flow and liquidity going crazy. We do have that MACD that just broke towards the bottom side of that indicator line, printing that first red candle here on our histogram. So might see that price pull back just a little bit. We do have that 50% line on that fib extension, which is a little bit lower than that, but I would kind of watch for price to hold up at the lows from here all over again. That was that high from here as well. All right, that was hype for you. Let's take a look at some Moondeg. Any other alt requests, go ahead and drop them in the chat for me. Let's see. Dutch saying to drop those likes. I appreciate that one. Darren does things saying oil chat. Oh, that's that can go either way depending on what country you are. Oil and stuff, says Dutch. Yeah. Let's see. Where is Vegas Claw? I heard a word he likes. Oh. Let's see. Joe Bingo Bango, says Al Jr. Dropping those bingo bangos in the chat. All right. Let's hop over towards that last alt request. A Moondeg. Haven't looked at it in a little while. Moon Dig. Um, let's see. Did we look at it on Binance? Yup, there we go. Looked at it on Binance. Saw that nice little bounce off of 17 cents that we had been talking about. Got that nice move up towards the 382 there, and then we're making our way back down towards the 50% line on our fib extension. This is also a 15-minute fair value gap. Let's get that drawn out for you so you can see it quite nicely. We got our lows coming in directly above 17 cents, 17,159, and the highs coming in right about there at 21,705. We just broke below the midline of that, so an area to kind of watch for is going to be that bottom side if we don't hold up at about 1854. Let's zoom this on out though. Take a look at that higher term time frame. We got that 4 hour looking like it's making a little bit of pullback off of that selling wick after we saw that resistance coming in at that 382. We do have a little bit of an area to hold us up at the 50% line and a little bit below that at that 1854. That's kind of those two areas I'd watch for, with this 4 hour being a little toppy here, unlike the rest of the market. So Moondeg looking a little more toppy than the rest of the market. Money flow in the red here on the 4 hour, volume extremely low, so looking a little bit opposite of everything else. Let's scroll that on in to the 1 hour, see what the day might be bringing our way. This one looking a little bit more towards that pullback area. We did have all of this support down here that we could kind of watch for at 17 cents if it does continue to see some sell off. Money flow dipping back into the red here on the hourly with a bearish divergence, several overbought signals, and a reversal signal as well as volume starts to slow down. So Moondeg could see a little bit of a retracement coming off of that 382 rejection. Let's scroll that back on in to the 15-minute, and 15-minute back looking like it is a little bit cooled off as we approach that 1854. So seeing us get that nice little bounce off of that, and then seeing us kind of reject off of 19.5 cents before we try to continue on to the downside might be something to watch for with Moondeg, considering that it is quite overbought and has gotten significantly stronger movements than the rest of the market. Let's see. Funny how people always request assets that pumped massively. Yep, it happens sometimes. I normally request the asset before it pumps, Dutch, and that's why I kind of watch those markets, throw them into other people's chats. Because I had who was it? Tradefly look at Bitcoin Cash before it ripped towards the upside, and then it ripped towards the upside, and I never said another thing about it except where we might pull back to. We had a few other alt requests by OJ, SEI or H bar. We can take a look at some H bar. I don't think we have time for both because it is 5:25 and almost time to head over to that morning motivational video and announce that giveaway. All right, we did get that nice bounce off of our platinum pocket that we had talked about, I believe was last week. So let's scroll this back on out. Take a look at that 4 hour here, see what we're looking at. 4 hour also looking quite a bit toppier than the rest of the market as volume is extremely low and the money flow in the red. We are seeing three reversal signals that have flashed here. We do have a bit of an area above that where we could see a little bit of some continuation to. That's going to be 16,328. Let me get that short-term horizontal ray drawn out. That's that area to kind of watch for some stronger resistance. We do have an area down here where price could kind of come back down to 15,331 if we do see a little bit of some cool off on H bar. That's coming in where though equal candle wicks come into play from these highs. We did see that nice little sweep above that to grab some of the liquidity that was sitting above this range here. All right, zoom that on in. Take a look at that hourly, like Moondeg was, where we've got this bearish divergence stacked up, seeing a little bit of some rollover. Volume holding quite steady here, so we'll kind of have to watch to see if we get that money flow switch from red to green. MACD also getting that strong curvature back towards the downside. So do have a bit of an area above here towards the upside at about 1567 that you could potentially watch for as well. Let me get that one drawn out too. There we go. To the bottom side of our indicator line and waiting to see if that prime oscillator continues to break back down as our volume remains quite low, and that true 7 heading back towards the red and the bottom side. So might see a little bit of some continued downside action for H bar as well to cool off some of these shorter term time frame oscillators. Oh, yeah, I don't know what's been going on with YouTube. YouTube's been acting up like crazy. I keep getting that on the stream side of things, and it keeps rolling over to YouTube to kind of send things in that little spiral. Seeing some of the same problems that Piper was yesterday. Definitely not on your end, definitely on my end. But we did have that giveaway to announce. Let me see what kind of comments we got on yesterday's video. See if anyone else commented Bitcoin is freedom there. Let me get that paused. No new ones, but we do have this giveaway to do. So last chance to kind of throw that in there for the giveaway. We've got the YouTube link pulled up there. We've got that Bitcoin and freedom that we're looking for in the comments. And 2 + 5 is 7. So we'll get that one there and get YouTube comments. We'll see. There are no comments found. I guess we'll just go with freedom then. And 1 + 6, still 7. And let's see. We got amount of unique comments, 9. And let's start that raffle. It looks like K Diggity is the winner of that $50 USDT. So go ahead and either reach out to me on X or in the Discord, and we will get you squared away on that. It's probably your cookies. That's what you get when your Google air conditioning, your stuff freezes. Oh my God, Dutch. I don't use Google like that. I use Amazon, but that's probably not any better. All right. Thank you for everyone that tuned on in today. We appreciate you showing on up, participating in the chat, lurking in the background if that's your thing. We will see you at the rest of the shows here on the Piper Academy. Today is Thursday, so we will see that last Markets After Dark tonight at 11 p.m. Eastern Time. We also have that morning market report at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Make sure to tune on in, say good morning to everyone, and I will see you at that morning motivational video here in just a second. Make sure to wake up because today's going to be a good day.